Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
Does it present a problem for the argument for the Christian God when there's so many flaws in the evidentialist arguments and disproven prophecies and all that stuff? Does that present a
What?
problem?
Yeah, that's a very broad question. I don't know what flaws you're referring to. I know that the evidentialist arguments are flawed because they are presenting them by an appeal and a capitulation to the false beliefs of unbelievers. But I don't think that's what you're talking about. What is your single most important flaw in evidentialism?
I'd probably say, ooh, there's quite a few. I'd probably say the lack of Noah's Ark, or
The lack.
the impracticality, impossibility of Noah's Ark, no evidence of Noah's Ark,
Okay.
no
Well,
evidence of
are
the
you
flood,
are you
all that.
arguing? Are you arguing against the Christian God, or are you arguing against? Are you arguing for atheism?
I'm arguing it's an internal critique against flaws from the evidentialist argument for the Christian God.
Okay. Well, then, so you've decided that the Christian God is false, then.
Correct.
Okay. So then, how would your world provide for any logical deduction or reason? What would be fundamental that would dictate what is possible and impossible?
Well, those are kind of two different questions.
I'm
I'd
ready for
probably
an answer.
tackle. Well,
What is it, since you don't believe in the Christian God? Okay, you're an atheist, right?
yes, I'm an atheist.
Okay, so you don't have a reason to believe in the Christian God then. What is your reason then to believe that what is fundamental is impersonal? What's your reason for that?
Well, I wouldn't say I don't have a reason to believe in God. I say I don't have a persuasive reason. And I'd
Okay,
also ask, why is a fundamental necessary to begin with?
okay.
I think that's really an honest
So in other
question
words,
to put on the table.
you can reason without the Christian God.
Potentially.
No, no, no. Listen carefully. When I ask a straightforward question, I want a straightforward, grown-up answer. I don't want some sleazy response because then I get pissed. Okay? Can you reason without reference to the necessity of the character and nature of the Christian God?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it fundamentally in existence that will impose what is, can be, and cannot be so that you could reason? What would that be?
Order.
No, that's okay. What screen name have you gone before?
Typically it's just Butter Biscuit. I'm using Butter Biscuit right now as well.
What have you used before?
Um, Joe Biden, Go Joe, stuff
Okay.
like that. Things related to Joe
Have
Biden.
I ever kicked you from another server?
We spoke in Reformation.
Did I kick you?
You kicked me from the call. You didn't kick me from the server.
Okay. Yeah, order doesn't answer the question. That's a nebulous response. It's a non-answer. What is it that is singularly fundamental that will institute and secure what's possible and impossible?
Well, why is it fundamental and necessary?
Okay, I want you to answer the question, please.
I'm asking a clarifying
Okay,
question.
no. Okay, do you have a belief that there is in fact something fundamental and foundational that singularly institutes and secures what's possible and impossible?
I'm not really persuaded that there is.
Okay, I didn't
Uh,
ask you. Okay, that's not an answer to my question. See, things are not going well for you because you keep on giving me these evasive answers. Do you have a positive belief that there is something that is fundamental and singularly foundational, dictating what's possible and impossible? So I take it from your answer is the answer is no.
I'm agnostic. Yeah, I'd say I'm agnostic.
No, 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 no. I didn't ask you if you were agnostic. You don't have a belief. Okay. Now, so in other
I don't
words,
make a positive claim.
then there's
That's correct.
so then there is no rhyme or reason why anything is what it is, nor is there rhyme or reason why there is any connectiveness, correlativeness, or any connection between anything. Then,
Well, well, not necessarily. That's following the
no,
premise
no,
that
no,
a
no.
fundamental is
Okay, do
necessary.
you hold? Do you hold that there is a rhyme and reason why things happen, and that there is a correlative or connectedness between events? Do you hold to that?
It appears to be.
No, I didn't ask you if it appears to be. That's another deceptive answer. Did I ask you if it appeared to be? I ask you, does it exist?
I can't give you a certain answer to that
Okay,
question
so then you don't have a reason that then there are fundamental preconditions for reason, do you?
well, there's inductive and
You know
deductive
what?
ways that we can go about
If you
this.
keep on giving me gobbledygook responses, I'm going to kick you.
This isn't gobbledygook.
You're
This is
giving me
basic
balderdash.
philosophy.
Do you have any foundational reason that reason can exist in a world where there's nothing imposing what's impossible?
Well, I have a reason that reason could
Is
exist because
anything
I'm
off?
reasoning at
Okay,
this moment.
Let
listen
him
carefully.
finish
Is
talking, Darth.
is anything off limits?
Thank you.
Is anything
Sorry,
impossible? Is anything impossible?
it's impossible for me to not exist right now
Okay. And
Oh,
what is it that fundamentally and foundationally imposes that?
because I'm existing at this moment. And the
No,
law of
that's
not
not an
the
answer.
law.
That's not
If
answering.
I can finish
Listen to
answering,
me. No, I'm not going to let you finish
please.
because I've
Why?
dealt with you before and I kicked you out of the other server. You are not addressing the question. Now, what
I'm
foundationally
sorry.
imposes that specific impossibility?
That specifically, I'd say the law of identity.
Okay, the law of identity doesn't stand in causal relations.
It's
The
it's
law
more
of
of like an
identity, the
observation of a
law of
causal
identity, listen
relation.
to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Okay. There
Okay.
was a time when the Eiffel Tower did not exist. Then the Eiffel Tower came into existence. There might be a time tomorrow, next week, next year, where it might not exist. For example, uh, all of the buildings in Hiroshima, with few exceptions, were vaporized. They were in
This is a really
existence.
bad this is a
No,
really bad
no,
meme
sir,
argument.
listen to me.
Can I
No,
explain?
no, it's not a bad meme argument at all. The law of identity,
It's in
okay?
relation to time.
No, no, the law of identity only applies to a time index.
Right, correct.
Right, but you see the law of identity itself, is the law of identity eternal?
Well, it's not
Or
just a law of identity. It's
no,
like a
no,
spider web of several different
I wanna
constellations
know what it is that's
of
fundamental. Listen
indexes
to me
and
carefully.
codexes.
You know what? I'm gonna kick you out of here like I did on the other server in
why
about
would
2
you do that?
seconds.
Because you're not letting him
Okay?
answer.
Shut up.
Let him answer first.
Can you
Okay?
please can you not bully her?
Listen to me carefully, okay? I want to know is there something that fundamentally and singularly dictates all impossibility?
Um, I can't give you an honest answer other than
So
potentially. I
no, I
can't
didn't
I
know. There's
can't
no
give you a
no.
deductive
So
answer.
you know of nothing. Okay, so you cannot assert that anything is impossible.
With certainty, no.
No, I did. Did I ask you what your level of confidence was? No. Now,
I'm giving you a specific
good.
answer. I'm trying to
So
be
so
honest.
so then nothing is off limits. No proposition is off limits then.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, you're not focusing. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm getting really tired of your evasiveness.
I'm
Now,
trying to level with you.
okay, can you defend how and why anything is impossible?
I can make an attempt to.
No, no, no. I don't want you to attempt. Can you do it?
Instantly, like with certainty, no.
What is it? What is it? Okay, listen very carefully. If you bring up the issue of certainty again, I'm going to kick you from the room. I do not want to hear
You're
about
asking me
certainty.
about knowledge.
All I want to know is either you know it or you don't know it. Okay? I
Yeah,
don't
that's related
care
to
about your
certainty.
level. Overtalk me again and you're done.
I'm sorry.
Now, you claim you don't have a reason to believe in God, but you don't have a
No, I
reason to
don't.
believe in anything else, do you?
I didn't say I don't have a reason. I said I don't have a sufficiently
Okay.
persuasive reason. There are
Okay,
several
but
reasons
here's the
they do
problem.
exist.
Here's the problem. Are you staking out in your mind, do you think that your position is neutrality toward God?
No, I'd say it's leaning towards
Okay,
I'd say
then
antagonistic.
how is it that God doesn't exist?
Well, there's a couple of problems with the existence of the
Okay.
Christian God specifically.
Okay, I didn't ask you
Um,
about the Christian God. I asked you about God in general. How is it that there is no creator God? And if you
well,
listen, I'm going to tell you one last time. If you dodge any of my questions from here on out, you're going to be done.
okay.
Okay?
Well, if we're
Okay.
talking about
How is it that there is no creator God whatsoever?
if we're talking about creator gods in general, one would be the lack of scientific empirical evidence. That's a pretty big
Okay.
hurdle for
Okay,
this God concept to overwhelm.
that's entirely fallacious because God is not within God is not a natural phenomenon subject to empirical investigation. Now, so here's the problem. Then your belief that this world is governed, something imposes regularity. Okay, that there's something that imposes and secures regularity so that you can do science. Do you have empirical evidence for that which would impose regularity?
We see with predictive
No, all I want is a
capabilities
yes or a
within
no.
observations
No,
and
I don't
tests
want to hear.
and
Listen to me. Listen to me. I don't want to hear
sorry.
gobbledygook. Yes or no. Do you have empirical evidence that there is something that is fundamental that imposes the regularity in the world?
Something fundamental?
Do you have empirical evidence that there is indeed something foundational that imposes
No,
and secures
no,
regularity?
no.
But do you believe in regularity?
I perceive it. I'm not. I'm unsure
Okay,
if it's
listen to
instantiated.
me, dude.
Please,
Dude, you
please.
have no idea how much than us you are in here. Of course, you believe in regularity because you're talking about the efficacy of empirical endeavors and investigation. So you believe in the regularity of nature without evidence, do you?
I'm not sure it's eternal.
Okay, then the point is, then you have no reason to believe in the regularity of nature if it's not imposed. So, by your own criterion, your own system has been falsified. And by the
No, I'm
way,
just not assuming it's eternal.
God is not a scientific question. Okay, science deals with uncovering certain regularities in the physical world. God would not be in the category of a regularity within the physical world. So you're making a
Does he
category
interact with the
error.
physical world?
Okay, he might.
So then
Now,
that would be observable.
here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. The point is this. Your position is not neutrality. Your position is that God does not exist. The fact that you claim that you don't have scientific evidence that has been presented to you, it doesn't follow from that that God doesn't exist. That's a non sequitur. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now that we realize that your first salvo is a non sequitur, how is it that there is no creator God?
Well, if we want to move past that, there's a couple of paradoxes that arise when you start talking about a creator God, very specifically a Christian God, but this can be applied to like
Okay. No,
Islamic God,
sir,
Judaic God,
listen to me
any
carefully.
sort of
Okay,
sect of
God is that
pagan
which,
gods.
listen to me. God is that which is fundamental and is
Odysseus.
per. Okay, listen to me. All right, I'm muting you. Okay. I want you to listen to me. Okay. Now, God is that which is fundamental, personal, and the source of all possibility. How is it that that definition of God does not exist?
Well, the definition itself exists. That's a bit of a weird question to
You know
actually
what? You know what?
pose.
Listen, pull this one more time and you're done. By the
Well, that's
way,
the question
you're
you
a lot.
asked
You
me.
listen to me. You've lied to me before. You've spoken to me under different usernames before,
No,
haven't
I
you?
told you I did. I
I
said we
don't
spoke
believe
in
you.
Reformation under
I
Joe
don't.
Biden.
Okay, I don't
Jesus
believe
voted
you.
Joe.
Yeah. Okay. What screen name have you gone before?
Typically it's just Butter Biscuit. I'm using Butter Biscuit right now as well.
What have you used before?
Um, Joe Biden, go Joe, stuff
Okay.
like that, things related to Joe
Have
Biden.
I ever kicked you from another server? God does not exist because
God probably does not exist
no, stop,
because
sir. Stop. Stop. You can't use a probabilistic argument that doesn't get you to God not existing.
I'm not asserting with certainty he does. I'm
Okay.
saying he
No,
probably
okay.
does
Okay. Did
exist.
I
My
tell you not
position
to
is probabilistic.
okay, no, then you see your position is not probabilistic. Your position,
Science is probabilistic.
okay, overtalk me. Okay, you're done. That's the last time you did it.
Hey, Darth, could I ask a clarifying question for something I heard you say earlier?
Talking with that guy is like chasing the greased pig at the
I'm just trying to have a conversation.
okay.
If you
No,
could just
you know what? Hold on. I'll give him one more chance. I'll give you one more chance. You're not having a conversation. You keep on scurrying down circuitous rabbit trails, and you're doing so purposely. You're deceptive and you're a deceitful person. Okay. Now, your position is not one of neutrality. Your position is not, well, God probably doesn't exist. Your position entails the falsity of God. I'm going to ask you a simple question. If you give me a circuitous response, okay, I'm going to server mute and deafen you. Now,
I don't know what circuitous means.
Do you believe evasive, deceptive? Okay. Do you positively believe that God is the necessary precondition of all facts?
At this moment in time, I would have to say no.
Okay. That necessarily entails the falsity of God. So your position is not that God probably doesn't exist. First of all, that would be a fallacy anyway, because God, by definition, is not a contingent state, right? Subject to greater parameters of
Well, that would
what
just be
is
the
what it can.
fallacy.
Don't overtalk me.
Ooh.
I'm not the one who's confused here. You are.
Do you know what the fallacy
Okay.
is?
All right. You're an idiot.
Wait a minute.
You're an idiot. Okay. They're just stuck on stupid.
Hey, Darth. Darth.
I'm listening.
I was just gonna say that you should probably listen to what he has to say since all this entire time
No,
he
I've
was
talked with him
talking.
before. I've talked with him before. I don't need to listen because he keeps on stating one convoluted thing after another. He doesn't care what he say as long as he's monologuing and being circuitous. I've dealt with him before. In fact, I shouldn't have even been as patient with him to the extent that I was because he's such a numbskull. Okay.
I'm just saying that you're talking and someone says something you don't like and you serve mute.
That's not that you're not understanding. It wasn't because I like you.
No.
I'm not going to have him waste my time. Don't overtalk me. I'm going to server mute you. Right. The reason why I kept on interjecting over him is because he was saying the stupidest of things and he was wasting my time. Okay. His position is that God doesn't exist. But then when he's asked to defend what his position is, that God does not exist, then he baits and switches. Do you know what bait and switch is?
Go ahead, explain it to me.
Okay, it's where advertisers advertise a product at a really, really good price. They get you to come in to buy the product and then say, "Oh, we just sold out." But you know what? There's another product right over here, okay, that they want you to buy. It's called bait and switch. So he moves from being asked several times to defend the falsity of God to then saying, "Well, God probably doesn't exist." That's not a defense that God doesn't exist. His position is not in actuality that God probably doesn't exist. His position entails that there is no God. But
Well,
because he cannot defend that, that is why he comes up with all of these canards about being unconvinced and appealing to a probabilistic notion about God.
I was just gonna say I was kind of curious of what he had to say, but it was you talking the entire time.
Well, then why don't you DM him and the two of you can have chat over tea. I'm not going to waste any more time that I already did. I knew right away when I started talking with him that he was the guy who I kicked from the other server, who he's purposely deceptive. And he's also lying about his screen name because he's been kicked and banned under other screen names as too. He's an argumentative little twit. Okay.
Yeah.
He is not an honest interlocutor. By the way, did you get that, Tom Rabbit?